Welcome to day 22 of your Texas Realtor Video Bootcamp. This is Jenny already with Flex Mortgage Team, and Jorge and I are glad you're here. Have I told you what a badass you are yet? You are. You made it through 22 days. That's like amazing. All right, let's start with some breaking news. Instagram just announced that on your bio, you can now have 5 website links. That's right, 5. So go ahead and get in there and get creative. So think about how you can use these if you're maybe promoting a listing. Obviously, you can use this to promote your website, other social links, anything that you can think of. Okay, so we've already talked about the different types of formats. So we talked about video, still images, and carousels. So now we're going to talk about the different types of content that you can post. But before we do that, I want to make sure I make a very important point. One of the issues with social media and platforms is that you end up having an endless number of choices. Whether it's whenever you're creating content, there's so many different things that you can add to your videos. There's music, stickers, text, transitions. And then, of course, you have coaches and you have professionals telling you what you should or shouldn't do. There's really endless number of options. There's stories, there's reels, there's going live. It just never ends. And it's very overwhelming. So you really need to stop and you just need to think about a couple of things. What is the information that you're trying to share with your sphere? And what is the best and most efficient way to get that information to them? So let's say you have an open house and you've decided that it's video. So here's what you're going to do to make it easy. I just want you to think about it like food. We're not going to think about all of the ingredients that go into a meal. That can get super overwhelming. We're just going to think about it like this. You're just comparing 2 dishes. And does it need a little bit more salt or a little less? Which one tastes better? So you're simply going to say, do I want the still image or do I want the video? Which one would come across better? That's it. Maybe you throw out carousel because you don't have time to make one. And you choose video because you know that that's going to give people the best view of the house and it's going to reach the most people. So now that you've chosen video, you're making your video. And once again, there's a million different options. Once again, stop getting overwhelmed with the options. Just decide with or without salt. Which one's better? Stop aiming for perfection. I heard this quote today and I absolutely loved it. Perfectionists will never develop taste because they're constantly filtering everything that they do through the feedback of others. That's amazing. Stop filtering what you do on video through the feedback of others. Just start the video, limit your palette to something more manageable. All of the options, all of the recommendations, all of the coaching, even the algorithm, all of those things are just scaffolding to guide you. But all of it in the end, all the rules are meant to be chipped away just so that you can make it whatever you want it to be. If you think about a music studio back in the day when they were trying to create a song and they didn't have a guitar in the studio, they couldn't have a guitar in the song. But these days, they have all of the technology right there in front of them. They have all the options within their reach. So that could get really overwhelming. They have every single instrument right there. But does that mean that they should use every single instrument on every single song? Absolutely not. It would be chaos. Even Sadie agrees. So instead, just pick and choose what works for you in the moment. So when you're creating content, there's the creative side, which is where you're really thinking about content and the value that it's going to provide your sphere, your clients, your friends, your family. And then you have the tactical side where you're really talking about the algorithm, the reach, and how you're going to get those conversions. But when you're posting, you need to really think about it within a spectrum. So focusing more on the creative side, providing that value, just being yourself, and that value based on what you find valuable and what your sphere would find valuable will make sure that it goes much further, that you enjoy the content and you'll enjoy the process more. So now that I've given that spiel, take it all into account when I tell you what I'm about to tell you. So let's start with, when we're talking about content, let's start off with your feed, which is the essence of the Instagram content. So in general, when you post, they go on your news feed, your wall, or your feed. And these posts are found on your profile as a grid. Typically, when people check out your profile, they see your profile information and then they see a 3x3 grid. So the top 9 last images. So therefore, harmony is the order of the day. So you want to make sure that there's some sort of theme consistency. You're building a feeling and an image of your brand. We're not going to get very deep into branding, but it could be something as simple as just keeping some neutral tones or darker tones or brighter tones. Thanks to TikTok, this is loosened up a lot, But if you don't love designing your Instagram feed, then please don't freak out about this and don't stress about it. But either way, there does need to be some consistency and thought that goes into your feed, meaning when people see your feed, they need to see the following. It needs to encourage users when they come to your profile, because remember, it's not only people who already follow you, but it's also people who have been shown your information in their feed. They've been recommended your information, your content. So maybe your reels were shown to them when they were browsing other people's reels. So as a result, they came to your profile to check it out, to see, okay, do they post more content like this? Because I really like it. So they need to be able to clearly look at your feed and say, you know what? I want to follow this brand. So your feed needs to encourage that. They need to be able to see a tone. They need to see your personality. They need to see credibility, meaning you're active in real estate, which is definitely going to be able to create trust, some sort of aesthetic, some sort of interest, whether that's also real estate or personal, but they also need to see your face. But your in-feed posts can also show up in other places, like in the Explore section, or when users have searched for a hashtag that you've used in one of your posts. So to increase your visibility and your organic reach, it's important that you develop a good hashtag strategy, coupled with when you're posting, you're tagging your location, people, etc. So let's talk the advantages to the feed and the disadvantages. It allows you to create and consolidate a harmonious and coherent brand image. It allows you to highlight and also improve your brand image. Let's talk the disadvantages. It does require additional work on content strategy. Keep it feeling aesthetically pleasing, engaging, and consistent for the long term. And of course, you have to think about the hashtags and the tagging strategy in order for it to work well organically. So here's some things that I do to help me keep my feed what I feel aesthetically pleasing, to keep it simple for myself. So I just keep one theme going. So for instance, if you look at mine right now, my theme is that I have dark colors. So in the Facebook group, we always provide you with a light and a dark option. That way you can just pick one and stick with that consistently. In order to show my face, what I've done is that I've just chosen not to put an Instagram cover on every other or every two reels so that my face just shows. That's my system. There's all kinds of ways you can aesthetically organize your feed if you literally just Google aesthetic choices for Instagram feed, but I'm not going to go into that because that's a whole other thing and you have to be super committed to that. So I'm going to leave that up to you. But the main point is, think about your Instagram feed as kind of like your homepage, your website. It's where all your followers can go. It's where they can get your contact information. It's where they can get the 5 links now. It's where new people can come and check it out. People are using social media search engines. They are looking you up when people recommend them as a realtor. And if they can't find you and they think that you're not legit, then they may not use you and they may find the other realtor that was recommended. If they think you cannot market you on social media, they will assume you cannot market your property. So that is what the feed is for. So for your current followers, but also so that you can be discovered by new people. So that is why it's so important. All right, let's move on to the content idea of the day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Every second of it. Every second of it. I love it.
Okay, so that's it. So the trending audio, the QR code was right before my video. Your POV is going to be right here. My client closes on their dream home and I get the privilege of handing them the keys, and I will type the name of the trending audio in the email and the text as well. As always, let me know if you have any questions.